If your Excel filter is lying to you, you're not imagining it. You filter for one value and rows that should disappear stay visible. Or you filter for blanks and Excel misses obvious empty cells. Sometimes it even looks filtered, but the row numbers don't change the way you expect. The main intent here is simple. Get your filter to show the correct rows again reliably. And the fix is usually not one magic button. It's a short checklist. Confirm what range is actually being filtered. Remove hidden row traps, clean up fake blanks, and reset any weird filter state. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how to diagnose the exact cause fast. You'll also learn how to prevent it, so the same sheet doesn't break again next week. Think of this as a troubleshooting flow. You start with the fastest checks, then move into deeper causes only if needed. Let's begin with the most common reason filters act wrong. Excel is filtering the wrong range. Next step. The number one cause of wrong filter results is that Excel isn't filtering what you think it's filtering. Filters apply to a specific range or table. If your data has a blank row, blank column, or a stray header, Excel may stop the range early. Then you filter, and part of your dataset is outside the filter, so it never changes. A fast test is to click inside the data and use the shortcut to jump to the current region. If the selection doesn't include all your rows and columns, the filter range is wrong. Another clue is when the filter arrows exist only on some columns, not all the headers you expect. The clean fix is to turn the dataset into an Excel table. Tables expand automatically as you add rows, and filters stay attached to the full structure. If you can't use a table, redefine the filter range manually. The goal is one continuous rectangle with one header row. Once the range is correct, many wrong results instantly disappear. Next step. Another common trap is hidden rows. Excel can filter on visible and hidden data in ways that confuse you. For example, if someone manually hid rows before you filtered, your filter results may look incomplete because some rows are already hidden for a different reason. Even worse, you might unfilter, but those manually hidden rows stay hidden, so it still looks filtered. The fix is to separate hidden by filter from hidden manually. A practical approach is to unhide everything first, then reapply the filter. Use the sheet's unhide commands for rows and columns, and confirm the row height is normal. Also check for grouped outlines, because collapsed groups hide rows without looking like a filter. Once everything is visible, apply the filter again and compare counts. If the numbers now match expectations, the issue wasn't the filter logic. It was pre-hidden data masking the truth. This step alone solves a huge percentage of Excel filter wrong complaints. Next step. Now let's talk about the weirdest one, cells that look blank but aren't. Excel's blanks filter only catches truly empty cells. If a cell contains a space, an apostrophe, a line break, or a formula returning an empty string, it may behave differently than you expect. A formula like equals empty quotes is not the same as a truly blank cell. Depending on the filter type, Excel may treat it as a value, not a blank. That's why you filter for blanks and still see empty rows that don't match, or you miss rows you wanted. The fix is to standardize what blank means in your dataset. If you want true blanks, remove spaces and non-printing characters. If you want formulas to count as blank, consider adding a helper column that converts empty strings into a consistent marker, like a real blank or a word like missing. The key is consistency. Once the data is consistent, the blank filter becomes predictable again. Next step. To clean fake blanks quickly, use a simple sequence. First, remove leading and trailing spaces with the trim function, or by using a cleanup tool that trims text. Second, remove non-printing characters, because they can make a cell look empty while still containing data. Third, convert text that should be empty into true blanks. One reliable method is to find a single space and replace it with nothing, but only within the target column to avoid collateral damage. Another method is to use a helper column that checks length after trimming. If the length is 0, treat it as blank. Then you can filter based on that helper column, which is often more reliable than filtering the raw field. After cleaning, reapply the filter and test blanks again. You should see the filter counts change in a way that matches reality. This is also a preventative step. Clean data means fewer filter bugs, fewer pivot issues, and fewer mismatched lookups later. Next step. Sometimes the issue isn't blanks, it's mixed data types. Excel filters treat numbers and text differently, even if they look identical. A classic example is an ID column, where some entries are numeric and others are stored as text. When you filter for a value, you might only catch one type. The dropdown can even show duplicate-looking items, because Excel sees them as different. Dates are another hotspot. A date stored as text won't behave like a real date, so date filters and ranges give wrong results. The fix is to normalize the column to one type. For numbers stored as text, convert them using a controlled method, not by retyping random cells. For dates, parse them into real date values, then reapply the filter. Once the column is consistent, the filter list becomes clean, and your selections match what you intended. If you're troubleshooting, always check type consistency before blaming Excel. Next step. Another looks filtered bug is when you have merged cells, especially in the header row or inside the data range. Filters expect a clean grid, one header per column, and one value per row per column. Merged cells break that structure. You might still see filter arrows, but the filter can behave unpredictably, including skipping rows or misaligning criteria. A related issue is multi-row headers. If your header spans 2 rows, Excel may guess the wrong header row or treat part of your header as data. The fix is to unmerge within the filtered range and redesign the layout. Keep a single header row with clear labels. If you need a pretty title, put it above the table, not inside it. If you need grouped headings, use separate rows above the table or use formatting that doesn't merge cells. Once the grid is clean, filters become stable again, and other tools like sorting and pivot tables also improve. Next step. Let's cover a subtle one. Filtered results that don't match because of partial columns or misaligned data. This happens when one column has extra blanks, shifted entries, or pasted data that doesn't line up row for row. You filter based on column A, but column B's values are actually from a different record because of a shift. The filter is technically correct, but the sheet is logically wrong. A quick sanity check is to pick a few visible rows and verify that key fields match across the row, like ID, name, and date. If they don't, you have a structural issue. The fix is to realign the data, often by undoing the bad paste, or by rebuilding the dataset from the source. If you must repair it, use a stable key column and lookups to reassemble correct rows. Filters can't fix misaligned records. They only hide and show rows based on what's already there. Data integrity comes first. Next step. Now, what if the filter dropdown itself looks wrong? Maybe it's missing items you know exist, or it shows old values that should be gone. That often comes from cached filter lists or from filtering a range that recently changed shape. If you copied data over an existing filtered range, Excel can keep a stale idea of what belongs there. A reliable reset is to clear the filter from the range, then reapply it fresh. If it's a table, toggle the filter off and on in the table settings. If it's a normal range, remove the filter entirely and re-add it. Also consider clearing all filters, not just one column, because multiple criteria can interact and make it look like one column is wrong. After resetting, open the dropdown again and confirm the list matches the current data. This step is quick, low risk, and often fixes the Excel is stuck feeling without changing any values. Next step. A big source of confusion is filtering in the presence of other tools, like sorting, outlines, and subtotal rows. If you have subtotals, Excel inserts summary rows that don't behave like normal records. Filtering can hide detail rows, but leaves subtotal logic that makes the result look inconsistent. Outlines and grouping can also hide rows independently of filtering, which makes counts and visibility confusing. Sorting after filtering can add another layer, because the visible subset moves, and it's harder to notice what's missing. The fix is to simplify the environment while you troubleshoot. Remove subtotals if they're not essential, or rebuild them after filtering. Expand all outline groups before filtering, then apply filter criteria. Once you trust the result, you can reintroduce sorting and summaries carefully. The idea is to isolate variables. Filters work best on clean, flat lists. The more reporting features you stack inside the same range, the more wrong the output feels. Next step. If you're filtering a column with formulas, there's another gotcha: calculation state. Filters act on the values Excel currently has. If calculation is set to manual, or if the sheet hasn't recalculated after edits, your filter can reflect outdated results. That makes it look like the filter is wrong, when the underlying values are stale. The fix is to force a recalculation, then reapply the filter. Also watch for volatile dependencies, like formulas pulling from external workbooks or large ranges that update slowly. Another issue is formulas returning errors. If some rows show errors and others show values, filtering for a value might miss error rows that you expected to be blank or zero. Decide how you want to treat errors, then standardize them, for example by converting errors into a consistent label. Once calculation is current and outputs are consistent, filtering becomes dependable again, even on complex sheets. Next step. Here's a practical troubleshooting flow you can reuse. Step 1. Confirm the filter range includes all records. Step 2. Unhide everything and expand any groups. Step 3. Clean fake blanks and normalize data types in the problem column. Step 4. Remove merged cells and ensure a single header row. Step 5. Reset the filter completely and reapply criteria. At each step, test with one simple filter, like a single value you can verify. This keeps you from changing 5 things at once and not knowing what fixed it. If the issue persists after these steps, the dataset may be structurally corrupted, misaligned, or built from inconsistent sources. In that case, the best fix is often to rebuild the list into a clean table and bring in the fields again using stable keys. It sounds heavier, but it's faster than endless patching. The goal is a sheet where filters are boring. Next step. To prevent these issues, build your data like a database table, even if it's small. Use an Excel table so the range expands correctly. Keep one header row, no merged cells, and no blank rows inside the dataset. Pick one representation for missing values and stick to it. If blanks matter, decide whether blanks are true blanks or empty string formulas, and be consistent. Keep ID columns as text if leading zeros matter. Otherwise, keep them numeric, but don't mix. Avoid inserting subtotals inside the raw data. Put summaries in a separate area, fed by the table. And when you paste new data, paste values in a controlled way so you don't shift columns or bring in hidden characters. If you adopt just these habits, filters stop being mysterious. They become a reliable tool you can trust for analysis, reporting, and quick QA checks. Now you have both the fixes and the prevention plan. Next step. Let's wrap this up with one simple mindset. When a filter looks wrong, assume the data structure is sending mixed signals. Start with the range, then remove hidden row effects, then fix fake blanks and mixed types. After that, reset the filter state and test again. If you want one quick win, converting the list into a proper table solves more problems than people expect. If this helped, subscribe for more practical Excel troubleshooting that saves time without complicated tricks. And for a quick check-in, leave a comment with your most common filter problem. A. Blanks not filtering correctly, or B. Rows staying visible when they shouldn't. That answer helps prioritize what to cover next, and it also helps others spot patterns in their own sheets. Thanks for watching, and keep your data clean so your filters stay honest. Small tweaks compound into massive performance gains. Subscribe to catch the next workflow optimization.